Today on the Inside Rip, we introduce you to collector Mike U'Ren, who is working on finalizing one of the rarest collections, period. We do have a very special guest today, Mike U'Ren, a longtime collector who has every set from Topps going back to 1952. Now, Mike, are you 17 shy of completing the 1952 set, which would arguably be the most difficult to fill, considering you need Mickey Mantle?
That is true. And I do have every complete set from 53 to the present Topps, but I do need 17 cards still. I think 5 Hall of Famers, a couple of rookies, and some commons, but they're all part of the Series 2 set, which anybody that collects 1952 Topps knows that those can be very pricey and difficult to get your hands on.
Let's be real here. This is a guesstimate, so I'm going with perhaps 100 people that have taken on this collection journey. And you're so close to being added to that short list. How does that sit with you?
I didn't really even realize that it was that much of an accomplishment. But after I talked to you, I thought, wow, I have put a lot of time into this, and it's been a labor of love. I love doing it. I mean, that's not the issue at all, but it's time consuming. And I started out thinking this was impossible about probably 15 years ago. And now we're down to 17 cards to make it happen. So it's been an amazing journey.
What was the card that started this marathon?
I mean, I was a big collector as a kid. I grew up in the 70s. And the first time I remember being able to buy cards, I think 25 cents a pack, was 1979 Topps. And then 1980, 81, the Henderson rookie and the Tim Raines. And I'm a big Dodger fan, so I'll admit that to everybody. Those 70s and early 80s sets are what really resonated with me. But when I started this journey about 15 years ago, I specifically thought about the 1971 set. That's the one that's impossible to get for collectors with the black borders because everything gets chipped up. And I'm a big Dodger fan, as I mentioned. So Steve Garvey was one of my favorite players, and that's the year that his rookie card is from. And I thought to myself, why don't I try to start with a 70 and a 71? 70 is the gray border and 71 is the black border. And so I slowly started piecing it together. It's kind of weird because I didn't focus in on one set at a time. I then thought, well, wait a minute, I'm getting closer on the 70s and 71s. Why don't I see if I can get all the 70s sets? Because I already had the late 70s, I already had the 80s, right? And so I slowly did that. And I remember this distinctly, Sarina, that I want to share with you. I started putting stacks together. I'd buy like little lots here and there of 60s and then 50s. And at one point, I was so proud that I had 8 cards from the 1952 Topps set. Well, that's a 407 card set or something like that. And I thought to myself, I'm never going to complete this set, but that's pretty cool that I'm starting to complete all these sets in the 70s and the 60s. And now I'm starting to get more cards in the 50s. And I've got 8 cards from 1952 Topps, and that's pretty cool. And now we're talking about needing, 15 years later, 17 cards to complete the set.
What year is this that you're kind of starting to, put these together? Like, where are you in your life? This is a wild journey that you've decided to track.
Yeah, well, I started to invest heavier in cards pre-COVID. I started this set journey probably back in 2012, 2014, something like that. But I started to buy key cards probably a little bit heavier as both collector and an investor probably. I think maybe before I might have been a little bit ahead of the curve because some of the cards I have would be unaffordable right now.
You kind of talked, maybe it was Garvey, maybe it was your realization, oh, I've got 8 players from the 1952 set. But, was there a specific card that was the impetus that kind of kept you going on this journey? And I give people who are watching that are not collectors, right, an analogy for like me trying to play golf, right? You take 100 terrible swings, but there's that one. It's usually with your driver, right? And you make that contact and you're like, I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'll be fine. Like what was that card or moment where you're like, all right, I'm going to come back and keep trying this?
I made a commitment to get every mantle that was available. So as I was starting to put the 70 sets together, I went back and slowly collected every single mantle. I actually have every mantle except for the 51 Bowman and the 52 Tops. I do have a 52 Bowman too, but I don't have the 51 Bowman and the 52 Tops. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, Mantle is generally the GOAT of all GOATs. And if I already have the key card in every single set, then I'm already part of the way there. So I kind of built every set around the mantles.
Some people chase autos, some people chase like the rainbow, right? Why did you decide on complete sets? And you went for the museum and not the store, Mike.
Well, I would say that if you collect the set and in the highest grade, I think there's an old adage that for collectors, you try to, for every decade, if it's the 50s, you try to get a 5 or better. And if it's the 60s, a 6 or better, 7 for 70s. That's a good general rule of thumb. Having every card in the set, then you don't miss out on, this happens a lot more with modern than it does with vintage, but you never know who's going to be great or what's going to be great. So, I always like to try to finish what I'm trying to do as well, probably. So that's like in my mentality.
There's a thrill to that. I
Of course.
get.
Yeah.
When are you expecting? You said you're patient, but like when are you expecting to complete the 1952 set with those 17 cards?
I've been pacing at about one card a month. It's one or two, one or two paychecks because you're into the pretty pricey stuff now. So I don't know. I told myself I wanted to have this complete by the time I'm retired. I probably have like 5 or 6 more years before I'm retired. So I would say probably sooner than that. But I got 5 Hall of Famers to go. I think I need Wilhelm. I need Pee Wee Reese, which, by the way, I almost bought a Pee Wee Reese the other night. It was pretty close, but it wasn't the price that I wanted to pay, Sarina. It was only off by about $100, but I'm like, well, there'll be another Pee Wee Reese coming. So I'm going to wait because I want to get the right price. I need Matthews. That's his rookie year, and he's pretty expensive. And then I need the GOAT Mantle, and I need Jackie Robinson. So those 5, I'll have to figure something out
so, okay,
for.
then other than a financial commitment or getting rid of some items that maybe you love or you wanted to hold on to, like what is holding you back from finishing it? If a goal is 5 years-ish, but you could technically finish it sooner than that.
I could. When I finish this, then what am I going to do?
Right, right. Well, is that sort of like, don't rush, because I feel a need to kind of enjoy the view while I take the scenic route?
It's probably a combination of that, and can I come up with a way to complete this dream of 75 years of Topps cards while not having to give up a Alex Gordon PSA 10 error card, that
I can't wait to
I
talk
bought,
about that.
or a LeBron Chrome rookie, or I don't really want to part with my my Kobe rookie, the best card in my whole collection, Sarina, as an individual card is my Michael Jordan rookie. I don't necessarily want to part with that, but that might be what I would have to do to accomplish the feat sooner than later.
Say you do get down to 1 card left. Are you rushing to get that card, or do you think you're going to wait? Once we complete this, there's a conclusion of a chapter of your life, right? Like that is being closed.
Well, if we get to that point, I'll give you exclusive rights to come back and talk to me.
Okay, how's Mike doing?
Yeah,
he has finished the chapter.
Yeah.
He's 1 card
I'd be
away.
happy to do that. But I guess since that would be the very last card out of 75 years. I don't even know how many cards that is. I'd probably want to document that last step. Like I've never really done that before, but that seems like something that I'd love to document. Finding the card, figuring out that, I can actually afford to do it, getting the card, whatever I had to do, but documenting that last trade to officially say, I've done it.
Makes sense. You want finality to this journey. I think that makes sense.
The journey's fun, Sarina. It's almost anticlimactic when you get the last card. Like I'll get the last card. I would get the last card of a set, and it's like, Oh, okay. Well, okay, great. I got that done. Oh, but now I still have 8 more sets to go. Well, now I'm just down to the 1 set to go.
Actually want to ask about that as well, right? Like when you finish a marathon, I've run a marathon, and at the end of it, I'm like, I think I should be crying right now or celebrating, but then you're kind of stuck behind a bunch of people that also just finished a marathon, and you're like trying to get like a cup of water. It's completely anticlimactic. Like, what are you gonna do when you finish this set?
It's a good question. I'll probably start working on my 1993 Topps Finest Refractor set.
So there's still like a need for another completion, if you will.
I think so. I doubt that I'll ever get that completely out of my system.